Alrighty traders, hello everyone. Let's get ready for the markets this week. Obviously there's a public holiday coming up today in the markets there, but I want to give you guys a bit of an update across all the markets through here. Plus also, I want to share a bit of a story with you of a conversation that I had with my mate yesterday, and I want to share something with you of why I believe most people struggle with their own trading. And if you are personally there, I believe this is going to really help you out. So let's get straight into it, guys. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, before we do start, if you are struggling with your trading and you are looking for a really good trading system, or you're just trying to figure out why do you keep going backwards all the time, then make sure you grab access to that free training there, guys. Where I walk you through, what I had to do to actually stop losing money, to make money. And I walk you through my trading system. I walk you through how I scan the trades. I walk you through how I find the trades. I'll show you trade examples. And I also show you exactly what to do there. Plus also, you get a free coaching call on the back of that as well too. So if you're interested in that, then there should be that link in the description there, guys. Go click on that and we can work together. Anyway, so let's actually start off with here. Actually, you know what? I'll start off with my, you can see the timestamps on this video anyway. So I want to start off with a conversation that I had with my mate yesterday. And I believe this is going to really help you out, okay? And then we'll get to the TA, okay? We'll get to the TA of all gold and silver in the markets, okay? So one of the big things, one of the things I was watching him. I drove 2 hours to catch up with a mate yesterday. Okay. So I did 4 hours of driving yesterday just to catch up with a mate, but it was good because I listened to I think it's Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. Anyway, so I was having a conversation with my mate yesterday, and he said, "John, I just can't seem to get ahead in the market." And I said, okay, cool. Show me how you're trading the markets. And I think this is one of the biggest flaws that most people make when they're on trading, okay? I want you, whenever you're approaching these markets or approaching life in general, okay? I want you to think about how you're approaching something, okay? So think about this from a logical point of view. Of how you're doing something. And so what my mate was showing me is that now for me personally, I used to trade things like this here, right? I used to trade a lot of these indicators here. Like this is the indicators that I used to use. I got the Bollinger Bands here, right? The Bollinger Bands, I got the moving averages here. I've even got like a double stochastic, like, oh, look, see, I got one stochastic and then two stochastics here. And stuff like that. I got an RSI here with the moving average here, and and all that sort of stuff. Now, if you are trading using these indicators and you're approaching it from this point of view, okay? So I'm just trying to share with you how you're approaching the trading, because I want you to have an approach to trading where you can set yourself up for success throughout the entire year. Right? Because trading is an actual difficult thing. It is a hard thing, right? And it's not an easy game. So we want to set the game up to win, not to make it hard on ourselves. So a lot of people out there, and if you're one of these people out there, and unfortunately, a lot of the educational programs out there, they'll sell you indicators, they'll sell you divergences, they'll sell you these heads and shoulder patterns and so on and so forth. And I really want to share something with you that I believe is going to really, really help you, okay? Now, as I said before, the reason why I'm doing well now in my trading, right? And again, I've been trading now for 20 years, and I've been very, very, very successful in the markets now for many, 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 many years, right? My first 10 years was a bit rocky, up and down. I do well and all that sort of stuff. In that video, I teach you, in the link in the description, I teach you about that. But one of the things about these markets here, right, is that, again, you want to set the game up to win. Don't make it hard on yourself. So think about how you're approaching this, okay? Let's step back and let's look at a logical step in these markets. So if we have a look at a logical step in the markets, okay? And I zoom and I just bring up the Nasdaq here. This is just the Nasdaq. And I'll look at the market as a whole here, right? You can see the market's done what? The market's done, we've had a big move up through here, we've had a big move down through here, and we've had a big move up through here. Okay. Now think about this from a logical point of view. Okay. Let's put on a logical cap here. A logical cap here. Okay. And if you are here, if you've been trading the markets now for about 5 years, and you're doing this mistake, then I understand, right? Because you just don't know, right? Especially if you're just brand new to the markets, especially for a couple of years and you're brand new to the markets and you're using a lot of these indicators. Yeah, you're probably making a lot of mistakes here, right? Now, if you think about this from a logical point of view, a lot of people that I see, and with my mate, I saw him do this, and you may be down this path as well too, okay? With my mate, he was trading two types of main setups here. He was trading heads and shoulders. So what is a head and shoulder formation? Right? A head and shoulder formation typically is what? A reversal type of a pattern, right? It's a reversal pattern. Now again, think about this here, okay? Think about this here. I want you to have a foundation so you can set the game up to win. So if you have a foundation that you can set the game up to win, I want you to have a good solid foundation for the rest of the year and the rest of your life to set the game up to win for you. Now, let's actually step back into what my mate's doing. And by the way, my mate just got his account liquidated because he traded the head and shoulder formation on a short-term gold chart as gold was breaking up to all-time new highs. He got his account liquidated because he was doing 1,000x leverage. Anyway, I want to... I'm laughing because I'm just like, okay, so I went down and saw my mate. So the first thing is he's trading head. Again, think about the way you're trading market, okay? Think about the way you trade the markets. He's trading heads and shoulder formations. Now, what is a head and shoulder formation? It's typically a reversal pattern, okay? So you're trying to go against the market, right? You're trying to pick tops, trying to pick bottoms. That's what typically heads and shoulder formations are, right? They're topping patterns. And then also what he's trading is he's trading divergences on the indicators, right? So I think it was using the RSI, and when the RSI is giving you some divergence, he's trading that. Now, typically, what is a divergent setup? A divergent setup is what? You're going against the market as well too, right? So the market could be, and so two types of patterns is, the one is as the market starts stepping up, you have the indicators doing something like that, right? And as the market starts stepping up, you're trying to short the market to capitalize on this move down through here, right? And then we might go back up again, right? So you're trying to capitalize on this move through here. Makes sense, right? Because this theory is the indicator. If that's the divergence, oh look, I picked on that move through there. Now again, think about how you approach the markets. I want you to have a foundation, have success throughout the entire year. So you're trying to trade this point right here. And secondly, you're waiting for potentially a head and shoulder formation here to maybe capitalize on that move there, right? You might, there's the head and shoulder and I made a small profit there. And then typically what happens, you get that and then we get something like that, right? And then we'll do it. We'll come up, have a bit of retracement, and then we have another big move up, right? This is generally what happens especially in a very big bull market, right? So you have the divergences, which is you're generally picking these little counter trends through here, right? Divergence, you're picking these counter trends through here, counter trend here, and so on and so forth. The heads and shoulders, like yeah, you might pick the top through here, right? You might pick a little head and shoulder formation and capitalize and move here. But look at what you're doing. You're trying to capitalize on what? You're trying to capitalize on these little counter trends. Why not have an approach to say, okay then, if I'm looking at the markets, I can see the biggest profits are here, 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 and here. So why not have an approach to the markets that says, if they are where the biggest profits are, and I know for me to have a successful year this year, I need to have at least 20-30% of my months having big profit trades where I can let my profits run and cut my losses short. Do you see what I'm saying here? So people are, and I mentioned this to my mate yesterday. He's like, "Oh my goodness, I just got it." I'm like, and so like it's one of those things that, again, I used to use these indicators here, and the reason why I don't use indicators is because you just don't need to, right? So we could see that all these through here. And so one thing that I was saying to my mate is that we want to set this up. We want to set this up for you. So if you are personally trading like this, I hope you can see that again, let's set the game up to win. And unfortunately, when we use a lot of these indicators through here, right, we're looking for these up and down swings, right? Oh, look, it's overbought, it's oversold. Oh my goodness, And the unfortunate thing about indicators being overbought and oversold is you may get an oversold point through here, right? Oh, overbought here, right? And the market still if we're in a very big, strong upward trend, the market keep going up. And I use an example of my gold trade, right? So if I go back to gold here, right? I use the example of my gold trade here, right? So this here, when the market broke out here, right there, what was the indicator? The indicator was overbought. At that point in time, the indicator was overbought, right? Look at that there. Right, it was way overbought, and then gold actually had an incredible move up, but the indicators were saying, right? And then you got all these. Look at this here. Then you got there's the divergence there, there's the divergence there. But what has the market done there and there? So if you've been trading divergences here on gold, maybe he was looking at the divergences on gold, and then he tried to trade it. He's going against. Where is the overall market here? Right, where is the overall market? Up, down, high, low, up, down, up. And we have these sideways movement, but where is the trend? The trend is what? The trend is still up. So you're trying to, where's the heads and shoulder formations and so on and so forth. So I wanted to start off this video with you, the bit of a foundation of one of the reasons why most people suck in trading is, guess what? Is because they're using all these indicators. Unfortunately, guys, and this is not your problem. This is not your fault, right? I spent 10 years of my trading career, or maybe less than that. I don't know, roughly around that anyway. My last 20 years of trading the markets, trying to get an approach or trying to figure out these games, and I always thought that the secret sauce was these indicators. Unfortunately, these indicators, you'll find that a lot of really successful traders that make a big profit in the markets, guess what? They don't use indicators. And this is the unfortunate thing about the industry we're in right now. Like, the unfortunate thing of the industry that we're in right now is that you get access to these platforms with all these different funky dunky indicators, and then they create new indicators and this beautiful wave indicator and so on and so forth, right? And one thing I have found is that if I take everything off the screen, one thing I have found is what the most important thing to me is what the chart's telling me, right? And when I trade the market, I'm actually trading the chart, because what is the chart? The chart is what the big boys are thinking and feeling, right? The big boys push this market around. The big boys create the patterns, right? It's what the big boys are doing, who actually move this market around. So if I can get really, really, really good at reading what the chart is telling me, this thing here, not an indicator, then I can get a good feeling of what the big boys are thinking and feeling. Right? Makes sense, right? But if you're spending all your time looking at the divergence on the stochastic and spending no time on really mastering the art of reading the market, which is it's not a big thing. It's only about a handful of trading techniques that I use to give me a good gauge on what's going on with the markets, right? And what's going on here. And so the big thing I do say, guys, is that, like, for example, with gold, the biggest profits with gold have been what? There, and also there, right? But if you're looking for a divergence setup here, John, there's a heads and shoulder formation here, right? You'd be like, oh, John, there's a head and shoulder formation. And like, someone said recently on one of my YouTube videos, anyway, I think I said that S&P or the Nasdaq, they're like, is it S&P or is it Nasdaq? Maybe Nasdaq. But someone said, John, there's a head and shoulder formation here. And, and it's like, okay, cool. Here was a head and shoulder formation as well too. See that head and shoulder formation there? Look at the beautiful head and shoulder formation. And what happened? We had a little bit of a drop and bam. So you're trying to capitalize this, and guess what? The professionals are capitalizing on this move here. Make sense? Right? Oh, John, there's a shoulder there, there's a head there, there's a shoulder there. John, it's going to drop down, right? Yeah, we may get that, right? You're trying to capitalize on that, but where is the trend still? And we're probably going to get something like that. Okay? So a bit of an educational, bit of a coaching session at the start of this session for you. and you can take it if you don't, but if you continue to go down this path of what is your foundational approach to these markets, right? Because remember, it's important to have an approach to set the game up to win. And by the nature of what most people do with these markets is, as you can see, the big profits through this period here, where have been the big profits? They've been to the upside, right? They've been longs. The big profits have been short here. The big profits have been to the upside. That's where the big profitable trades have been. Unfortunately, most people are trying to trade this here, this here, this here. They're trying to trade these little counter trends through here, these little pullbacks, right? They're trying to trade this head and shoulder formation here. They're trying to, there's a little divergence to it, and they're trying to capitalize on these little short term. That's what divergence is, right? Divergence is trying to capitalize on these little short term moves. And if you think about it, it's actually not that difficult. Rule number one for me, guys, is what is the trend, and trade with the trend. Why? Because if we know historically, looking at this chart through here, that the chances of jumping on a really big profitable trade, which what we need throughout the entire year, for us to have a really good year, we need to have those months where we do jump on those really big trades. For our equity curve to have a big move, guess what? We need to have an approach where we're going with the market, go with the trend. So the heads and shoulder formations are looking for right now, and the divergences and all that sort of crap with the indicators, guess what? It is slowing you down. No wonder you are losing a lot of money. And then especially if you're starting to go down to the 5-minute charts and the 2-minute charts and so on and so forth, you're really going down a path of misery. And you're making, and if you've been spending, if you're like my mate, who is just been spending years and years and years going down a path of doing the same bullshit all the time and not getting anywhere, step back and logically say, okay, how the hell am I actually even thinking about these markets? Like, what am I trading and how am I trading? And is this the best type of trading to actually even be doing if I want to have a good year this year? Right? Unfortunately, most people trying to capitalize on these small profit, right? I'm trying to use the divergence and the head and shoulders so I can capitalize on these small profits. And while you're trying to do all that reversal stuff, if you just step back and try to go with the markets, you know that, as you know, that the big profit trades have been where? Here, 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 right? And then also here. With the market, and then the market changed through here. So we're trying to get in a bear market, so we're trying to go down, down. But what are most people doing? Most people trying to capitalize on what? Most people trying to capitalize on this bit here. Oh, but there's a divergence pattern here, right? Or there's a inverted head and shoulder formation or whatever, right? You see what I'm saying here, right? Because trading is actually a difficult thing, right? It's a hard thing. Well, trading becomes a lot easier as you get along. Trading is easy for me now because I just have my one trading setup, and probably 80 to 90% of the time I just trade that one setup, and the other 10%, 20% of the time I trade other things. But that's where your trading approach comes into it, right? So I really want you to have this game, guys. I really want you to set your game, this trading game up to win. Okay, and I really want you to do really well. So try to think about that, guys, as you're trading these markets. Is that you want to be able to be, all right, the idea about trading successfully this year for you is what? We want to be able to identify opportunities that can capitalize on big profits, right? And that doesn't come around all the time, right? So we need to know how to identify that in the first place, step one. And step two, we know that we need to know how to capitalize on that as well too, right? And if your approach to trading is I'm trying to capture that little movement against the trend, against the big boys, instead of just flipping it on its head and trying to go with the markets, it blows my mind. It's like, why do people always try to trade against the trend, right? They're always trying to look for tops and bottoms. Right, make the game much easier for yourself. Right, Paul Tudor Jones said this. He said if the chart looks like this, if it starts in the bottom, he said if the chart looks like that, then I'm only going to look for long signals. And I know that's simplified, guys, but anyway, I hope that really helped you out, guys. Some really sort of a bit of a coaching session for you guys that are actually actively trading or actively trying to get ahead in the markets, but you seem to be struggling. Okay, one of the things is how you're actually thinking about your trading, and one of those thinkings is that your approach is you're pushing, your approach is wrong because you're trying to capitalize on these small little profits where you could be trying to have a trading approach that try to capitalize on the big moves that tend to happen within that phase of the markets. Let's get into the actual market itself right now, guys. So let's start off with the Dow Jones. So the Dow Jones for me right now, the Dow Jones is in a very strong upward trend. And what is an upward trend? An upward trend is simply higher lows, right? So what does the Dow Jones be doing? We see the low through here, higher low, higher low, higher low, and another higher low, right? So the Dow Jones right now is in a very strong upward trend, and we're having a very big move to the upside. While we've been doing that, we may get another little push to the upside like this here, but I do see we're probably likely to have a little bit of a pullback before we get going again as well too. So yeah, with the Dow Jones, guys, even though we're pushing up to the upside through here, we're having a really big move through here, as you can see. I'd be really cautious. Really cautious. What's the word for that? For me personally, I'm getting ready for some sort of a pullback or some sort of a drop or some sort of a little bit of a counter trend first, guys, before this, right? Something like that, and then something like that coming out of the markets. Make sense? Righty, so let's go look at the Nasdaq now. Now the Nasdaq is, again, guys, really strong upward trend, right? So don't be looking for heads and shoulders. Don't be looking for divergences. The market's in a very strong bull market. Don't be trying to pick tops, right? Because if you did try to pick a top, you've had a 100% failure rate so far. I hope you get that. If you flipped it on its head and just went with the market, you'd be having a really high success rate right now because you're going with the market instead of trying to pick it. Pick the tops in. No, top's not in. Right? Stop looking for a top. Go with the market. What's the market right now? Up. Let's go with it. Okay? Let's have some fun. Anyway, so I know I'm making fun of that there, guys, but I hope you can get what I'm saying here, right? It's the nature of the beast of what we all do. Anyway, so we've seen this market in a very strong upward trend, and the best thing for me, guys, is whenever I'm trying to see where is the trend here and where should I be going with, I always like to look at the weekly charts, right? So I use the weekly chart here, and if the weekly chart is making higher lows in the markets, we're in a strong upward trend, and especially if we've got my 24 moving average strong trending to the upside. Well, if that's the case, guess what? I only can be looking for long signals because that's where the market is, right? That's where the big moves are. Not here, right? And this is where, unfortunately, look at this here. This point through here on the daily chart, that's where people are trying to capitalize on divergences and heads and shoulders. Oh, John, but there's a little divergence pattern here. Meanwhile, I'm saying, yeah, but look at this massive profit I just made. Anyway, so that's how I normally see the trend for me. Okay, so simple as okay, wherever I see this here, and so whenever I start to see this, if I'm in this level through from there to there, guys, all I'm doing is if that's happening, right, where the moving average is trending up and I'm getting higher lows, guess what? I'm just going to go with that. If the market starts to do this, I'm just going to go with that, right? The market's now making lower highs and the market moving average is coming down. I'm going to go with that. Moving average trending up, moving average strong trending up. I'm just going to go with that, right? So for example, I look at my race trader in, right? This is my race. This is the trade I'm in right now. It's not that complicated, guys, right? You guys are, right? Look at this here. What's race? What is race? Strong moving average to the upside. And what do we have here? Higher low, higher low, higher low, and higher low, right? And then guess what? And then now we've had this breakout. Now the big move actually starts. You see that through there? So this is an actual trade that I'm in right now. So I'm not recommending this trade, guys. I'm not saying get into this trade. No, I could be getting out of this trade because I'm already in a really big profit from here, right? I got on the breakout and I'm already in a really big profit. So I'm pretty sure I'm getting ready to actually get out of this trade because I believe it's getting ready towards the end of this move. But we'll see. We'll see what the market gives me and what the market does. But I'm trying to share with you guys where look at this big massive move on race. Big massive move, right? But what are people doing? Oh, John, there's a divergence pattern here somewhere, right? So, anyway, so let's go now. Let's go back to here. Let's go back to the Nasdaq, and as you can see, so the trend is up to the upside, guys. And now we're getting a little bit of a drop to the downside. But guess what? Guess what's the trend? The trend's still up to the upside, right? So while we're getting this little pullback through here, this little doobie lackey through here, it's very, very, very weak, right? Very weak. We're not getting any strong sellers yet. So if you're looking for a top pattern here, the market's not giving us that. Now, if we started to get some sort of really strong sellers like this, so if I bring up my candlestick charts, what we don't want to see, okay, for you guys that are reading the charts, with the charts itself, I'll just join that line there because that's through there. What we don't want to see is what? We don't want to see this happening. If we get something like this happening, like that there, then we could start to see a little bit more of a drop to the downside. But that's not a point to go short. No go short. Smack. Smack. All right? Smack. What do we look at? What am I looking for? Well, firstly, I can see that we've had this very strong move to the upside. And now notice we're just doing this through here, right? We're just going small. We're just going very, very weak on the downside, right? We're not getting strong. We're not getting bam, 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 right? Bam, bam. We're getting what? We're just getting slow, small bars going slightly sideways, slightly down, right? Over this course of the week. We're not getting strong selling periods. What does that tend to mean? Whenever we do get these periods here, all right? Whenever we do get that strong move to the upside like that, and then the market does something like this here, and it doesn't do, we're not getting this here like that. If we do get this pattern here, we tend to get what? We tend to get another leg to the upside. So look, up, look at this here, small bars, sideways, another leg to the upside, right? Up, we're getting this little correction through here, so we may get a little bit more of a correction, and then away we go from here, right? So right now on the Nasdaq, as we speak, no, right? I mean, like, this is a very weak pullback. This is a bit of a mock charge, I believe. I believe we're getting ready for a very, very, very strong finish towards the end of the year, guys. I don't know about September, but I do believe we're getting ready for a very strong finish to the end of the year. Let's go look at the S&P 500. And the S&P 500 has been, and again, what's the trend? Let's go to the weekly charts. Higher lows all the way up. Strong moving average to the upside. Okay, I only can look for longs. But John, there's a head and shoulder formation. Smack. Remember I said before, no, capitalize on a big move, on the potential of having a big move. How can you have the potential of having a really big profit when you're going against the trend? You're trying to trade these counter trends here. Well, John, I'm looking for a big profit, but I'm trying to trade this bit here and this bit here. Yeah, well, I just traded that bit there and made a lot of money. Do you see what I know I'm harping on that, but that's what this whole session is all about for you guys, okay? It's a bit of a foundation coaching session for you guys of how you're thinking about the market. Because I want you to win. I want you to win out of these markets. And a lot of the times how we're even thinking about our trading and how we're approaching our trading is completely wrong. And people just can't see it. My mate's been doing this for years and years and years, right? He's trading the Aussie market, the Forex market, gold market, all these things through here, and he's trading these markets, and guess what? His complete approach is wrong. And no wonder he's been spending all these years not actually getting ahead, right? For me, guys, there came a point in time where I'm just like, I need to get my shit sorted. What the hell is really going on? Anyway, S&P 500. So I believe we're getting a little bit of a sideways pattern through here. If we do, I'm just looking at this level 3. If we do, and let me bring on this here. If we do continue like a little bit more of a sideways pattern, and we start to get the moving average start to trend up, if we get, we want to see something like this happening. See the pattern, right? What's the pattern? Up, small bars, sideways. Look at that there. And then what do we get? Another big move to the upside, right? So just like the Nasdaq, remember I said before, strong up. We've got these small bars going sideways, very weak sellers. Moving average comes up, bam, away we go again. Up, sideways, small bars, not strong sellers, right? Because we have the buying leg here and the selling leg here. Who's more dominant? Buyers. Buyers are strong, sellers are weak. Buyers are strong, sellers are weak. And then we do that. And then guess what happens? And then we have the buyers are strong, and then the sellers are strong. What's going on here? Oh, something's different, right? I hope you can see that there, right? So what I'm looking for now, on the back of what I just said there, here's my moving average starting to curl up, right? There's my moving average curling up there. If we can get that, and then maybe something like that going on, and then maybe we get something like this going on, that there, and then we get something like that going on. Well, guess what? We get that going on, which might be another week. If we do get that, then S&P 500 could be getting ready for another move. If we get a breakout now, like a break up to the upside, that's probably going to be a false breakout. So be alert. Be alert. When I say false breakout, this is what we're going to get. People's like, oh, false breakout. I'm going to trade the short. I'm going to trade the false breakout. No, just be alert. Okay, this is all about just being alert of what can actually come. So we get something like that, and it's a false breakout, and it reverses on you, and you get something like that, and you're like, I'm going to trade that, right? And then it does come back down to here, right? Come back down to there. You're trying to go short here, and then after that, then it's had enough refilling phase to go for another big move, and you're stuck here. No, smack, right? Remember. And look out the good old Russell as well too. The Russell is one of the ones, guys, that again, I am just super bullish. When Russell really starts to take off, and I believe it's developing a good solid foundation right now, we are getting ready for a big move, okay? Out of all the markets right now, out of all the indices right now, the Russell is the one to me that I'm really excited about. Why? Because we haven't started a bull market yet, right? We may be just, or should I say, we may be at the start of a big move, right? People trying to capitalize on big moves, like look at the Nasdaq and the S&P. Nasdaq and S&P have what? They've already started to have the really big move for a couple of years, right? All to the upside. The good thing about the Russell is the Russell to me is just getting started, right? Higher lows all the way up, right? And now we're just getting started. So to me, the Russell is the one that I believe is gonna, when it really starts to move over the next couple of months, guess what? The Russell is gonna be one of those ones, there you go. Russell is gonna be one of the ones that I truly and honestly believe that we're gonna see really, really big moves, because once we start to break above these highs here, guys, right? Once we start to get, there you go. Once we start to get really breaking above these highs, guess what? It is on like Donkey Kong. On like Donkey Kong, right? Because let's actually go to the Dow Jones here for a minute. Look at this here. What is this here? Nothing. And then when we broke out, guess what ended up happening? We've gone for a really big move on the Dow Jones, right? Ooh. So we're nothing. There's sound effects. Ooh. Right? So nothing going on for quite some time. Like this here, just really up and down, sideways. But when we break out, we tend to go for a really big move, right? This is just what happens. So if you look at the Russell, look what the Russell's been doing. The Russell's been doing absolutely nothing for a few years through here. And even at the start of this year, we did nothing. This is all really not doing much. But look what's happening now. We're starting to what? We're starting to develop this upward movement through here. We're starting to get into a trend through here. What happens when we break above 240? Now we're getting ready for some big moves. Right? Now I can go to, let's bring up this chart here. Right? Because if you look at this here, why is the Russell such a big mover through here? And you know what my mate said? It's so interesting. It's so interesting, right? So for a lot of people are looking for fundamental reasons why that happened. Why did that happen? What made that happen? So for example, if I go back to my race trade, this is my race trade I'm in right now. And again, trade. This is what's called a level 2 type of trade. That these level 2 type of trades have the potential of making a really big moves. If you know how to identify a level 2 type of trade, which I'm following just 5 simple rules, then you know how to identify and qualify a trade that has the potential, not the guarantees, right? The potential of having a really big move. That's what I'm saying for you guys, right? So do you even know what to look for in a high quality setup? If not, again, I at least give you the level 1 type of training on the video, that link in the description there, right? So if I go back to, let me go back to so this big move here in the race, okay? So again, I may be getting out of this right now soon, because it might be almost time to get out. But anyway, so he saw this here, and my mate said, John, what's the fundamental? Why is that having a big move? I'm like, oh man, you are really on the wrong side. You're trading head and shoulders, you're trading this, and you're trying to find the fundamental reasons why this thing. Oh man, your focus is on all the wrong things, right? And so the purpose of me saying this here is like, no one knows why, right? And if you can stop focusing on why and just focus on the pattern, then you can start to do really well. And so if I look at the Russell, what's going to happen here on the Russell? Let me bring this up through here, right? The Russell's actually in a very big upward trend. Why? Look at this here. From this low point to high point, look at that there. Smack on. It held the 50% all this time, and we're now doing what? Now we're in this. We're starting to develop this real strong upward movement through here. Starting to get this sort of these sort of trend lines coming on through here. You see that through there? Where is the overall trend here? Oh, I'm gonna go short the Russell. Like, no. You see what I'm saying here, guys, right? If you've watched this entire video all the way through, the theme of the trend is what's the trend and go with it, right? Because you're gonna get a percentage of the trades that you do capitalize on big trends, and that's how you see your equity curve move, not by these small profits, small losses, and so on and so forth. Okay, what a coaching video for you guys to get ready. Okay, so because I care for you guys, right? I really care for you, and I'm trying to show you, trying to give you a bit of light of what's taken me 20 years. But unfortunately, us men, we have big egos, so we need to touch that stove probably at least 5 times to get burnt to say, okay, yes, that stove is hot, so I shouldn't touch it. Right? Us men, we're idiots, right? We don't need a double top to realize that brick wall is not going to open. We need a triple and quadruple and a quintuple top to realize that wall is not coming down. And then the market. Yeah. Anyway, so the reason why I'm bullish on the Russell is because guess what? The overall big long-term trend is up. This was just all this is on the Russell. If you think about it, is what? A strong move up. It had a correction down to 50%, and now we're continuing up. So this is overall massive or bullish. The big long-term trend is up, and now, what are we doing on the Russell? Low, higher lows, higher lows. We're starting to develop. We're starting to get out of this period 3. It's screaming at us. Here we go. Right? You see it? Do you see it? Do you get this? Right? Anyway. If you've watched this video all the way through, type in the chat box below, go Russell, go. Because this has been a long video. And most people would have turned me off in the first 5 minutes. But if you've watched this video all the way through, I commend you, because I'm really trying to share with you some light here on the truth about your trading so I can help you, right? And secondly, please type in the chat box, go Russell, go, right? So, I hope you can see, guys, because guess what? Guess what? Just like the Dow Jones, once we start to break above the high, guess what? Getting ready for a really big move to the come. Just like the Russell, once we start to break above the high, and it's almost there, guess what's to come? Right? We're going to start to see something like that going on. I go, oh, the Russell. I was like, I've been screaming the Russell all this time, okay? In fact, that's why I've been long the Russell all this time. That's why I've been long the indices. And even when the indices had that little short-term correction, right? You guys know back a month ago now, I was saying, guys, this is a little bit of mock charge before we get going again, right? So I'm trying to show you what I'm seeing so you guys can capitalize on this as well too. Have a little bit of a picky and then have some fun with it as well too, right? Anyway, so now this is back to the daily charts here. Let me take it off the screen for you. So I hope you can see what I'm seeing through there, guys. Let's go now and have a look at the good old silver and gold market. So the silver and gold market right now, guys. So this is the silver market. We're definitely squeezing up into this pattern through here, right? And we definitely do have around silver. We definitely have this major level of support around that sort of 28 level. You can see that 28 level is really, it was back through here in 2021. Lots of resistance. We had a little bit of a resistance all through here. And as you can see, right, some of the times when we're drawing our trend lines, it's not a finite number, right? It's more like an area, as you can see. As you can look at this here. So it's more like there to there is the resistance, and there to there, right? Because you have the resistance up here, you have a bit of support down here. So it's more like around that 27 to 28 level, right? Maybe even a bit lower than that, right? So it's there. And then if you wanted to do another level, it's probably through there, as you can see. So this band, what is that band? This is more like an area, isn't it? Right? This whole area through here, really, that whole area from there to there is what? That's the support resistance zone, right? John, that's the supply zone. Okay, I'm saying, like, this is the area through here. So what am I looking for? If I am looking for a trading opportunity, right? Now again, trading opportunity out of silver, what would I want to see, at least on the daily charts? I'd want to see what? The buys start to come back in. What is the buys coming back in? I want to trade with the trend. What is the trend? Market goes up, market comes down, and we create a higher low. And we create a higher low around the 50% level, just like the Russell, right? The Russell, big, long-term, weekly chart, 50% retracement, and away we go again. Really simple stuff, right? Really, really, really simple stuff. We have a little bit of a drop down through here, right? and then we get going again. So I'm looking for this pattern here, aren't I? I'm looking for the 50% retracement. So what's happening right now? So this is the big picture here. What's happening right now on silver? Let's go to the candlestick charts. And now we're getting what? Let me take everything off the screen here from now. Now we have the low point. Now we have the high point. So what am I looking for? What am I looking for, right? I'm looking for what? I'm looking for this market to simply come back down and hold the 50% level. Okay? If we don't hold 50%, if we don't, now right now, there's nothing here, right? No, nothing here. But what we want to see is we want to see this market possibly come down to here around the 50% level, hold, do something like that, and then start to break up through there. If we can get that, and then we also get that while it's actually breaking out of that. Look at this here. The higher low means what? Buyers are coming back in, right? The higher low means here we go. So the market's telling us, because all this time on the weekly chart, guess what? Lower high. Oh, sorry. This is a daily chart. Lower highs, lower highs. So we've been getting this short-term little downward swings, right? Lower highs. A little bit of a lower high through there, up, down. Now this is another lower high here, right? Now this is the short-term charts. This is the reason why you always want to keep an eye on that weekly chart, because the weekly chart, that weekly chart trend is the most important trend to us, right? So right now we're getting a lower high. So we could continue down from here. That's why we never want to jump in now. It's like, oh, I want to jump in now for a trading opportunity and capitalize on a short, you know, or there might be some divergences for you guys that trade divergences here. I'm kidding. Don't trade divergences. Right? Trade with the market. That's where you can have a good percentage of your trades, or at least a percentage of your trades have big, massive profits. That's how you capitalize on a big profit in the market, by going with the trend, not these small little counter trends. Right? Anyway, I should title this video "No Touchy Divergence." Anyway, so we have this little pullback here, right? So with this little pullback through here, the reason why I'm waiting for this here, because guess what the market's telling me, right? The market is saying, because what is up, down, higher, low? What is that? The higher low, which is this point right here. If the market does do that, then what is that? The market's telling us now the buyers are coming back in after all this time. That's what we want. We want the market, the big boys who push this market around, to tell us, oh, now they're starting to come back in. And if we do that and we start to get break above, say, $30, now we're probably getting ready for another really big move, especially just doing this all the time. Oh, that's a channel, John. Okay, cool. All right. So I hope you get what I'm saying here, right? Because right now the market's making lower highs. But when the market does start to make a high low here, and this is where, guys, some people say, oh, John, you're teaching this trend analysis again. I'm like, I know, but that's exactly what we should be focusing on, to see if the big boys are going to come back in. And if they are going to come back in, let's just jump in then. But until that happens on silver, we can't jump in then, because guess what? Silver is not an upward trend on the daily charts yet. On the weekly charts we are, but on this daily charts, we're still making these lower highs, right? We're still making these lower highs through here. So we cannot, if you're looking for a really big move out of the markets, right, we can't go long here yet, because for my rules anyway, rule number one is trend analysis. We haven't even made a trend. We're not even upward trend. But if we go up, come back down, and if we do get that and something like that, then guess what? Now higher low. Now the trend has started. Now we have a much more higher probability of capitalizing on at least a successful trade. Okay, but John, there's a divergence there. Don't get me started. All right, let's go to gold. So gold, really, really, really big upward move, right? Remember I said before, guys, about the Dow Jones. It just, nothing fazed me through. Whenever the market does this to you, right? Remember I said before about the Dow Jones and the Russell, right? When we do nothing for a while, we tend to get a lot of move for a while. Very, very simple, right? Look at that. Nothing for a long, look at this. Nothing for 2 years, and then a breakout, and then we have a really big move to the upside, right? That's what happened with the Dow Jones. That's what's happening with the Russell, right? Oh, but John, crypto. I hope you can see, guys, the way that I personally do my trading and my actual my trading, and the way that I personally trade, guys, is, guess what? Is some of you guys are a lover of a market, right? You're a lover. I love gold. I don't love any market, guys. I look at all markets. Why? Because there's opportunities across all markets. I look at foreign exchange. I look at crypto. I look at gold, oil, silver, the ETFs, right? The energy sector. It's like individual stocks, right? Because there's what? There is incredible trades to take that are setting up to have a big move on individual stocks as well. So don't be a lover of any market, guys. You're limiting yourself. Have a setup, that can apply to any market and have some fun. Anyway, back to gold. Back to gold. So gold, guys, on a short-term level with gold right now is developing what? It's developing one of those little sideways patterns, isn't it? Remember I said before, when the market goes up like that and we develop this sideways pattern through here, right? We're getting that little flattening there. So what we want to see is we want to see gold to start to pick back up through here. Ideally, I want to bring on my short-term little moving average. At least my... Actually, you know what? Let me bring on all my moving averages from here. Right? Let me bring on all my moving averages. The 9 moving average. This is the short-term moving average. I'm more like I utilize this more, guys, for like a trailing stop loss. By the way, as my moving average from here. But the 2 moving averages that I'm looking at right now are the 20. Actually, you know what? Let's do this here. Let's duplicate you and let's remove the 9. There we go. Cool. Right. So 2 moving averages through here. I use the 52 a lot, but I also like to use the 24. So we're definitely trending up through here and we're going sideways. We're breaking above new highs. But John, there's a little divergence pattern setting up right now. Let's go short. And it does this on you. You're like, yes, I made a successful trade. And then it does that on you. Wow. And then I'm beating the hair. I'm beating sideways, right? If we start to get the moving average catching up, then gold could be getting ready for a really, really, really big move to the upside from there. So there's a little update, guys, across all the markets from here. One of the markets, there's a few markets here that I'm really focused on, guys, and that is the energy sector. There's gonna be a really big move out of these markets, guys, and I believe there's gonna be some incredible opportunities, like in the energy sector. So XLE, XOM as well too. I don't know where it's going to break, right? But just like this XOM, if we start to really get a break above this 120, we could be getting ready for another really big move to the upside. And the other market here, guys, I'm really focusing on is the USO, right? Is the USO market from here. We're definitely in a squeezing up pattern through here, guys. And I truly honestly believe that when we do break out of this level here, we're about to make a really, really big move. And if we can capitalize on that by utilizing simple trend analysis, what we talked about here, and waiting for the market to tell us what to do, what's going on there, then there could be some really, really, really big, incredible opportunities, right? So on USO, on energy, on individual stocks, right? There's so much opportunity right now, guys, if we know what to look for and capitalize on it. So there we go, traders. Hope this helped you out. If you do need some help, guys, then you may be a good fit for my daily coaching program. There should be a link in the description there, or go to getjohnshelp.com where you can fill out the application form, and I will personally call you to see if you're a good fit.